this session is recording before. Okay, yes, it's recording. I can continue. I really wanted to be very sure I got it before I finished my NYSC. I knew I wanted to be a programmer, but I didn't know where and how to start or how to go about it. I didn't know, I didn't have any mentor. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't even know which programming language is basically good for me. You know, I was learning C#, Java, PHP, everything all in one. There's basically nobody to kind of guide me. So because of my experience and the struggle and the hassle I had when I started, I decided to start this community. So what we basically do is just to help people swiftly transition to tech. If you're in school or you just finish school or you're serving or you're done with your or whatever course you're studying, do you understand? We just, do as little as we can just to help you transition to tech swiftly. Now, how do we do that? We do online webinar monthly, we do mentoring sessions, and we do online training. I would like to let you all know that we just concluded our first UI/UX training last month. We trained 20 students, and the training is actually free. Yeah, we trained 20 students, and at the end of the training, they did their project on both mobile, project and web project, and it was really amazing. If you go to our website, you see some of their testimonies there. Then for the online webinar, we do this we try as much as possible to do it every month, even though because of my schedule, sometimes I miss some months. So this is our fourth one this year. We started in February. For every month, what we do is we pick a particular role in tech, a particular career in tech. We look at it, we invite professionals, at least 2 speakers, who will come to tell us how to start that particular career. So this webinar is basically for beginners. So today we are looking at cybersecurity, and our speakers are they are experienced, they are experts in that field. So they'll come and tell us, how do we start? Where do we start from? If you want to start your career in this particular field, how to go about it. So that's basically what we do. Then our mentoring sessions, we have some mentees that we are working with. I have some junior developers I'm working with currently, like 2 of them. If I have any project, we look at it together, we work on it together. I have a technical writer I'm mentoring too. So it's a whole lot. So these are the 3 things we do for now. And all these services is for free, even though it's hard for people to believe, because I read some comments on Facebook yesterday, some people say, put out your price there. How much are you charging us? Please, it's for free. But if we are going to charge for that, we will tell you. But for now, all our services is basically for free. Before I invite our guest speakers, I just had to add this, just to talk briefly on this, because I saw some questions yesterday. Some people reached out to me, what is this all about? What is tech and all that? So I decided to, use 5 minutes to talk about this before I now invite our guest speakers. Now, what is tech? Tech is basically technology. All of us know what that is. Now, why will you want to transition to a tech career? Now, all of you will agree with me that, the world is advancing. We are definitely all the sectors in the whole world, education sector, in health sector, oil and gas, media, communications, everybody makes use of technology now. So because of this, because of, we are advancing every day, there is high demand for tech professionals. So if you switch to this career, there's every possibility that there's a job for you. Yeah, it might be hard at the initial stage, but the possibility of you getting a job faster is high. There's good job opportunities and career growth, and there's competitive salary too. Yeah, if you start initially, there's this misconception that once you transition to tech, that you're now the $10 of Africa, but that's not true. Yeah, when you start, you have to, improve on your skill and all that. But subsequently, the salary is quite competitive and it's quite good. If you're experienced and if you're doing quite well, honestly, you will earn good money from tech. And you can work remotely from wherever you are. I know some people who, when they are based in, that are based in Nigeria, that are currently working from companies outside Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, I worked for a UK company for 2 years before relocating. So you work remotely, job opportunities are there, and you can work, and it's very flexible. You work from the comfort of your home. Now, for you to have a career in tech, you must not study computer science. That's another misconception people have about this. Yeah, I studied computer science, but now, please, when you join us, mute yourself. I'm coming. Okay. You mustn't study computer science for you to have a career. There are several job roles. In fact, the first webinar we had, we actually looked at all job roles that doesn't require coding. We looked at project management, product management, business analysis. We looked at a whole lot, UI UX design, a whole lot of career opportunities in tech that doesn't require coding. So whatever you study, even from a non-science background, you can learn this skill and transition swiftly. It's not a rocket science, and there is constant learning, innovation, creativity, and you get to solve a whole lot of problems. I'll have to invite our guest speakers. Yeah, I'll have to invite them to continue from here. We have Folu. Folu is a cloud engineer, and Miriam is a cybersecurity analyst. I will invite them to take off from here. They will introduce themselves. They will tell us what they do, and they will take it up from here. So Folu, are you here?
Yep.
Okay, so I will yield the mic. Then you can now continue from here. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone. Thank you for having me or for inviting me to speak. It's a privilege and a pleasure as well to be able to speak to everyone that has joined today. So my name is Folusha Ogunshakin. I'm a cloud engineer. My specialty is basically in cloud infrastructure and security automation. I skilled in using cloud native tools and technologies to deploy, manage, and secure IT applications and assets. Basically, anything that has to do with infrastructure, pretty much, skilled in, managing all of these assets or whatever it is that you have deployed in your infrastructure. Like a few people, or like some people, I would say, in tech, I've also, found myself in different roles through the course of my career. I've always just been transitioning, but cloud engineering has been like the goal from day one. So I started out as an IT support network engineer up to a system administrator, and now as a cloud engineer. I also have an MSc in cybersecurity, and I'm certified AWS and Azure solutions architect professional. I'll let my colleague introduce herself before I carry on. So, Miriam, do you want to introduce yourself now, or should I just carry on?
My name is Miriam Ejechi. I'm a cybersecurity analyst. I have a background in information technology. I actually studied information technology as my first degree, and then cybersecurity for my master's program. I started off as an IT support for a company based in Lagos. I've also worked as a back-end engineer in Java programming, to be precise. I write REST APIs and the likes. Along the lines, whilst I was doing this, I wanted to, transition and go into security. Because basically, as an engineer, when you're working as a programmer, either ways, you do stuff related to cybersecurity. Because you tend to test your application and see if it's working. All those are part of security. So it also triggered my, my intentions, which came to light for me to study my master's in cybersecurity. At the same time, I decided to, along the line, to consider going into cloud, as cloud is also growing way fast. I also have something called cloud security, which is, my end goal, to be precise. I've been in the field for several years. I've been in tech for apparently over 5 years. I have about 5 years of experience in tech. So yeah, I'm also based in the United Kingdom. I'm in London, to be precise. And I'm very happy to also be here today to speak to people who are interested in transitioning into cybersecurity, as we need more people in this place. I would let my colleague follow to, start off with the presentation, and after that, I would come and shed more light on discussion concerning the reason why we are here, which is transitioning into cybersecurity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ulama, you want to get this slide?
Should I move to the next one?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk about that a bit, anyways. If
okay, yeah, please. I would like you, to throw light on that, what it's all about, before we go to the skills, please. Yeah.
Right. So yes, cybersecurity. I'll just read from the screen. Cybersecurity refers to the practice of protecting computer systems, networks, programs, and data from unauthorized access, damage, theft, disruption, or any other form of cyber threats. Right. So we all know about the internet. We're all connected today because of the internet, right? So we're connected via our various devices, our laptops, our mobile phones, whatnot. And embedded into all of these devices are various systems or components, talking about the networking. There are also applications, and of course, there are also data, that are stored on these devices, right? And one of the biggest, or should I say primary threat to surfing the internet or using the internet is the fact of maybe your data or anything that is that is connected to you in any way, right? Or should I say, let me just say, your digital prints, right, should fall into the wrong hands, right? So you don't want any of that to happen. As the world keeps growing, as internet continues to evolve, as technology in general continues to evolve, we are seeing all kinds of malicious activities on the internet. Seeing people, or hackers, to be more direct, hackers, going into organizations and taking.
Follow, please unmute yourself. I had to mute everybody. Thank you.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just start again. I'll try to be fast this time. Sorry, I was on mute, guys, in case you were wondering. So yeah, cybersecurity refers to the practice of protecting computer systems, network programs from unauthorized access, damage, theft, disruptions, or any other form of cyber threats. So basically what I was saying while I was on mute is that, we are all connected today all because of the internet, right? And you have all kinds of devices that you're all using to connect. And in those devices are your data, softwares and all kinds of components, networking and stuff like that, right? All of these are embedded into these devices, right? And, as the technology continues to evolve and internet continues to, grow, we've seen all kinds of malicious activities on the internet. You've seen like hackers, trying to get access, to your data, just to sell it probably to the highest bidder, or to use it to do some kind of malicious activity, or to probably just bring a system down, for any kind of political reasons or personal reasons or gains, right? So, this basically, as the internet came into life, right, also determined, or also came the need for security, right? So people are looking for more ways, or organizations are looking for more ways to protect their digital identity, their data, and their assets and their resources from bad actors, right? And then this has basically been, or this has been what has birthed cybersecurity as a whole. So the goal of, or the primary goal of cybersecurity is to protect computer systems, networks, data, and every other digital assets, from a wide range of cyber threats and unauthorized access. So more and more, as the host mentioned before, we are seeing more activities on the internet. We are seeing more devices connected to the internet. Now you have your smartwatches, you have even your household devices. More and more people are putting their data on the internet. There's what's called Internet of Things now, where there's a goal to like connect every device that is around us to the internet. Your refrigerator, your microwave, everything can now go on the internet. And with this increased internet activity comes also the need to protect the systems and the data that are associated with those devices. So that is what I would say is now the goal of cybersecurity, how it comes in. You now need a way. You need to deploy solutions. You need to deploy processes and protocols and policies around all of these systems, so that you prevent them from getting leaked, or getting or from unauthorized persons to have access to all of these systems. So that, in my own word, is what cybersecurity is. Next slide, please. Right. So I've termed this slide entry-level prerequisite skills. I would like to start with, there's an analogy I like to use anytime I'm having similar talk, right? So you have like there's a building, or there's a house, and then you've been given a job of a security guard, right? So they told you that, yeah, you need to be stationed here to protect this particular building, or a particular building, from criminals, or all sorts of or any kind of attacks, or whatnot, right? How would you be able to do this, right? How would you be able to meet the requirement, or the objectives of that job, as a security guard, right? So the way I like to explain this is that the best way to be able to defend or protect or secure that building is for you to know basically for you to know the blueprint of that building, right? When I mean blueprints, know all of the entry points, know all of the access points, know what is surrounded by the building, know the terrain, the surface, know basically the in and out of that building, right? Because that is the only way. Because if they just take you now and put you, let's say, in front of like a mall, right? We all know, like, a mall or a very large supermarket, they'll probably have like maybe 5 or multiple doors and multiple entries. They have probably like a back door where their suppliers will come and bring their goods and services through. So if you don't know all of this access, how are you able to, or if you don't know all of these entry points or access doors, how best are you able to secure that building, right? You need to be able to understand, how the walkway, or why there is a window in the toilet, or basically every information that has to do with that building. And that is the best way for you to be able to secure that building, as required, right? Because if you're just standing in front, right, and somebody comes through the back, or somebody pretends like he's one of the suppliers that is coming to supply goods to the supermarket, right, you probably wouldn't know that, oh yes, some other person has, impersonated like one of the suppliers, right, and is trying to come in. But that person also has like another intent of probably stealing something from the cashier's drawer or stuff like that. So that is where, that is how I like to look at, and this applies not only to cybersecurity. If you're going to transition from one career path to another career path, right? So what I've just done here is to highlight some skills that I think, that is required, or that I think that is essential. Let me not say required, essential for you to thrive in a cybersecurity role, right? Knowing these skills will help you, will give you like some kind of fundamental understanding of, how your computer systems how the computer system works, how you can find your way around computer systems and the different layers in the computer, or should I say in the OSI model. I'll talk a bit more about that, not to worry. But basically computing or computer systems or IT systems or infrastructures are in different categories and layers. So you want to understand, your way around it. You want to understand, all of the possible access routes into those systems, and that is the best way for you to be able to secure those systems effectively, right? So you can know where to apply your security solutions, or where to deploy a particular security software that is going to give your IT asset or your IT infrastructure a very good security posture. I think some people are raising up their hands. I think we can take questions right after each presentation.
Okay,
You
that's
guys can
fine.
just note it down.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first one that I've highlighted there is troubleshooting and diagnosis, right? So and I don't want I want us to have a very open mind when we're looking at some of these things, and I've tried to, some of them are a bit very, very low level or sound technical, but I'll try and bring it down as low as possible, so that we don't think that is something that you probably need to go to the space to go and get, right? So troubleshooting and diagnosis, this can even come from probably your mobile phone. You don't have network on your mobile phone, right? What do you do? Do you just go and you go and meet that maybe one of your brothers or sisters are studying computer science, and you go and give them? No. How do you solve this kind of problem yourself? How do you troubleshoot it? Do you turn off the airplane mode and turn it back on? Those basically, you just need to have ideas, on how to solve problems, right? On how to, and I'll tie it to the next points there, right? You need to be able to understand the computer as a system itself, both as an hardware and as a software. Okay. So troubleshooting and diagnosis is very, very important, and it doesn't apply to a particular system or a particular application. It's just general knowledge or general idea of how you approach problems, right? Your ability to identify and resolve problems, right? You see a problem somewhere, maybe it might even be your printer. How do you go about in solving those issues? You need to have some basic steps or approach on how you solve those problems. It might be you need to have proficiency in analyzing maybe log data. Okay, you see an error code or something on your computer. What do you do about it? Do you just say, oh, let me just close it and open it back, and maybe the problem will just clear away by itself, right? When you see those kind of things, how do you approach it? Do you take that particular error code or error message and probably put it on a knowledge base, or just even put it in Google to see what it brings out for you? So these are skills that you need to have as a person, as an individual, going into the cybersecurity field. For problem solving, you need to have the capacity to approach complex, problems or challenges, because computer is a very, very complex system. Computer itself, the computing as a whole, the internet as a whole, it's bunch, millions of embedded systems and applications and different layers of softwares, that make up all of these devices and things that we can see physically. But behind these things, there are really, really complex systems that are connected together. So you need to have the capacity to approach, how do you analyze problems? How do you resolve? What are some kind of some basic processes that you apply into problem solving? You also need to be creative as well, right? You see things, you try and mix things, together. You probably, maybe there's a network problem somewhere, and you are probably thinking that, oh yes, you can do it maybe by troubleshooting the hardware, right? But you might just be creative and just go online and just do things that that is outside the box, right? Just in a way to just finding the problem to something. There is no how do I call it? How do I put it? There's no hard-coded way to solving problems. It's just about trying different things, trial and error, basically, until you arrive at the solution to a problem. And then the next point I'm talking about is networking fundamentals. This is actually very, very key. You want to understand the essential networking protocols and concepts, right? You want to understand your OSI model, your open system information model. You want to understand the different layers in the OSI model as well. Starting from your physical layer up to the application layer. You want to understand each and every layer that is there. You want to understand your protocols, your networking protocols, your TCP, your IP, your TCP and IP protocols. You want to understand different ports. These are very, very essential to understanding how you can properly secure like a computer or like maybe an infrastructure asset, right? Especially when it comes to ports, right? Take, for instance, you have a well-known port maybe for your websites, right? Which is maybe your port 80, right? Or let me just use port 80 or ports, or maybe SSH for port 22, right? Typically, you would find out that attackers will try to go in through maybe your port 22, right? Which is a port that you use to access your computer systems or your servers, right? As a security professional now, you know that this is a standard port. Some of the tricks that security professionals do is that instead of setting up your computer systems with that port 22, you can probably set it instead of setting your SSH protocol with port 22, you can set it up with another port. In that way, you have taken away, you've been able to eliminate a certain level of attack, right? You've reduced the attack surface, right? So those kind of things will help you. Networking is not security per se, but understanding the networking concepts and fundamentals. And some people are saying they're struggling to hear me. I hope, can everyone hear me? I hope it's not from my end.
I can
Yes,
hear you.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Thank you very much. If
We can hear you.
yeah, if you're having issues, you can just log off and log back on. Probably that will help. Thank you very much. So yeah, networking fundamentals is essential, and that ties into actually the analogy I told you about that I was explaining before, right? You have scenarios where you need to understand the different access doors. You need to understand what access ports are opened or closed to your system. That in that way, you'll be able to properly secure that system, in an efficient way. The next point there is Linux and Windows system administration. We all know, I mean, Windows is more popular than Linux, right? But this is basically having the skills to be able to, do some basic task on your Windows system, right? Or your Linux servers, right? You want to be able to do some basic things, change password. I mean, these are just really, really basic stuff. I'm just giving you like an example. There are obviously more important things that you can do or that is tied to this kind of skill sets. You have scenarios where you want to like create like different groups. You have like in cybersecurity, there's what is called role-based access controls, right? You want like maybe for your sales personnel, you want to have like a group for them that you create on your system, right? You don't just want to like create individual user for everyone. You want to properly apply like an RBAC system, a role-based access control model to your computing systems, right? You want a situation where the access that you've given to a group of people applies to the particular role in your organization, right? So, creating users, disabling users, creating, giving permissions to file permissions on your system, ports, managing your ports, managing your network configurations as well, your IP addressing, your DNS as well. These are like basic system administration skills that I think is very, very essential for us to, just understand how best to secure a particular system. Virtualization is might be a bit abstract, but I've just said it here for maybe anyone that has come across it before. It's just a technology that is used to abstract an operating system, which is very much common in our infrastructure these days. So you want to understand virtualization, or virtualization system, or virtualization technology, how to use it, how it's being used. Basically, it means that you can have just one system, and with that system, having what is called an hypervisor, you can create multiple systems or multiple child, let me call it child system. So you have, let's say, like a parent and child relationship. So your own system, the hardware that you're using can be the parent system, and then that parent system will have like an hypervisor that you can now use to create like abstractions of a particular operating system. It could be like a Linux or a Windows system. So in this way, also understanding virtualization helps you to understand that, yeah, you might walk into a system and you're wondering, how is it that this system is having multiple IP addresses? It might just be that that system has other virtual machines. They're called virtual machines, right, that are running on that system that is probably sharing in the same network with that physical system. So this is also an essential skill that would help us as well. Scripting and programming. This is the part that people like to run away from. But yeah, if you're anyone, if you are, maybe you have affinity for, you've seen what coding looks like or programming looks like, and you just have like an interest in it, trust me. I try, and even though it looks a bit complicated and unpleasant to most people, I try as much as possible to encourage people to learn programming. You'll find out that even on your WhatsApp these days, if you can have like your text or to your characters, you can do some manipulations to it to give you some kind of output. Take, for instance, you want to make a text bold, right? If you go on your WhatsApp and you put ** before and after the word or the character that you want to make bold, you will see that it will basically make that text or that word bold. That is just coding, right? Some of you might be doing it in some way you don't even know, but that's just coding. I know that it's something that looks like rocket science to some people, but to me, it's just about being persistent, right? Just, pick a language. I always preach for people to go with Python, because it's much more easier to read and understand. It's closer to, it's like a high level programming language, which is human readable. So pick a programming language, and trust me, whichever role that you are in technology or in IT, be it cybersecurity or anything, it would actually, having that skill alone will take you to higher positions. And the last point there is analysis and report writing. So this is just another point that I used to, encourage people that probably not, into coding or have any interest in coding, right? This is also a very, very key or an essential skills of a cybersecurity professional or an IT professional in general, right? Analysis and report writing is very, very key, especially report writing. It establishes your ability to communicate, for you to take technical terms and break it down into words that, C-level personnel can understand, or maybe somebody that is not even in your organization, or somebody that is not tech inclined to even understand. So report writing is very essential. There are various career paths in cybersecurity. I think Miriam will talk a bit about some of them. That this skill is very, very important. You don't even have to do any coding or anything. It's based on your ability to analyze systems. You go into systems, do some analysis, check the data, check the activities on those systems, and be able to come up with reports, around what you found in that system. So yeah, that comes to the end of this slide I'm talking on. So I encourage everyone, just have a think, look into some of these things, and try and just skill up in any way that you can, just to boost your chances into making a successful transition into cybersecurity. So the next slide is talking about pre-transition professions, right? Just as a caveat, this basically doesn't mean that you need to be in any of these roles before you can transition. You could also be like a beginner. You can also be coming from maybe like an accounting background or a medicine background. It doesn't mean anything, right? But these, from some of the patterns that has been observed in the industry or in IT, in the IT profession in general, you see a lot of people coming from various roles or transitioning from various roles in cybersecurity, and these are like the most common ones, right? And that's why I decided to talk about it. So in case you find yourself or struggling to get into cybersecurity, it can be like a 3-year journey or anything. You can start off with, take for instance, I'll start with the first one, IT support or analyst, right? You can start off with that, do that for a few years. IT support basically highlights your experience in troubleshooting and resolving IT related issues, right? It's demonstrates your ability to solve problems, to basically when an IT support is primarily tasked with helping users with issues on their systems, right? Maybe a user is trying to send an email, or user is trying to print something on the printer and it's not working. They are sending the document to the printer and it's not working. That is where the IT support person comes in, right, and helps. So doing all these simple things also lays a very, very solid foundation, right, to understanding IT systems in general, right? When you start, troubleshooting your emails, checking the protocols that the emails is using, maybe it's IMAP or POP3, checking the ports that the email is going through, checking if the email is using maybe TLS encryption for sending out emails and things like that. This sets a very, very essential foundation, going into any role, right? Be it network engineering or cloud engineering or even software, even maybe a software engineer as well. You see a lot of people, like I said before, I also started out as an IT support person as well. Yeah, this is a very, very curious. So if you find something like this as well, you can, start off with it and then build your way up, right? The next one is technical support. Is quite similar to IT support. It showcases your expertise in assisting users with technical problems and understanding their needs, right? It helps, it puts you in a position where you're able to provide support to your users. It's a bit, I would say it's a bit more higher in level than IT support, right? Because with technical support, you start dealing with like servers, computer servers. In case some of you, I think I've been saying servers for some time now. Server is just a computer system that runs 24/7, 365 days a year. That is used the machine or computer system that is used to host applications. All of the stuff that you use is being run on a server. Basically, the server is equipped to run for extended period of time, in fact, for years, right? So that is where your applications are being deployed and things like that. So as a technical support person, you are probably tasked with, managing issues on that server. Can also be tasked with identifying problems, be able to identify problems before they happen, or maybe respond to issues or respond to problems that have come up with your server. The next one is application support. Application support, these are people that are tasked with supporting an application, right? That's just a direct definition or explanation. But you have people that when you're seeing errors on your application, you report to them, they troubleshoot the application for you, maybe from the client side or from the server side. They're able to diagnose what the problem is. Maybe it's an access issue or a credential issue or different things that could be wrong. So that is where the application support comes in. They are basically tasked with making sure that there are no issues or problems with the application, either from the user side or from the server side. The system administrator, I already talked about this before, but they are also tasked with managing and securing servers as well, deploying servers, ensuring that the servers are working all the time, ensuring that there are no downtime, or probably issues with your server. They'll manage the computing, the storage, and the networking as well in some cases, right? So this is also a very, very good role that, you know, helps with cementing your understanding of an IT system, right? Helps you really to, you know, understand how the system is being set up, and in that way you can know all of the ways that, or any technique, right, that an attacker can use to get access to that system, right? You already understand how users are being created. You understand the essence of provisioning a user credential or user access to a system. So you now understand the implication of that credential getting into the wrong hands, right? So this basically, you know, helps you to, you know, put yourself in a position where you're able to profile better security solutions to systems. I'll just keep that point there because I talked already about it. We also have the network administrator. Administrator, these are people that are basically skilled in, you know, configuring your network systems, right? Your network protocols and infrastructure. They are also tasked with implementing or managing or deploying network devices. You have your routers, your switches, your firewalls, you know, all of these network devices, and how, you know, a network is just there's this very popular definition, right? Basically, you have multiple nodes or multiple systems talking to each other, right? Right, it's a system of of computers, you know, that are able to communicate together, right? So that is where your network administrator comes in, or some people call them network engineers, right? They help you to set up, you know, all of the protocols and all the access, you know, from, or should I call it routing, that's, you know, your computing devices use to talk to each other. You have your routing protocols, you also have your ports, you have the different you have different networking protocols that are also used. The network administrator is responsible for configuring all of this. So you might find yourself in that role. If you find yourself there, also fine. That's also a very beautiful role that you can also use to transition into cybersecurity, because it helps you to understand, you know, how an attacker can hijack a network, right? You understand that you need to, there's what's called the management device, right? You need to secure like your management device. You want to make sure that your management device or your management network, take for instance, doesn't fall into the wrong hands, or an authorized person shouldn't just have access to the infrastructure network, right? So this also gives you like a very, very good insights into securing a network. And you find out that even myself, right, as a cloud engineer, you find out that while, you know, you are in some of these roles, you find yourself doing some ad hoc security roles, because security is embedded into every process, right? You want to make sure that if you're, as an IT support person, if you are setting up an email system or an email client, for instance, you are setting it up securely. You want to make sure as a system administrator, if you're configuring a server, you are configuring it securely. You are making sure that you are not opening any unused ports, right? You're making sure that you are using like a very, very strong password policies to all your systems. These are things that are essential. And then the last one there is a software developer. I've just added that really just it's not like I said, it's not a typical pattern or a very, very popular pattern, but it's just that point there is just to tell you that you can come from any profession, right? Like I said before at the beginning, you can be coming from accounting or whatever profession that you're doing now. Don't think that you can't do it. But as a software developer as well, it's also a very, very good role that you can also use to transition to tech, because as a software developer, you understand what is called the software development life cycle. You probably understand what secure coding means, right? You're able to understand what a good code looks like and how a code can be exploited, right? So you want to in having that, or in being in that role, basically, you are able to like take your knowledge from how you can create a very good software into security, into cybersecurity. Basically, you're understanding, applying what is called the OWASP rules into your secure, or into your applications rather, right? Making sure that your applications is set up, in a secure way. Putting all of the, should I say, is what's called code scanning. You have the dynamic code, static code assessment, and dynamic ones. Basically, different things that you can use to make your applications much more secure and a bit harder to exploit. That an attacker will find it really, really hard before he can exploit your applications. So yeah, that's basically the end of my presentation. You should be open to, just as long as you have what is called the desire, what I try to call it, because that is basically what you need, right? Oh yeah, I see I have on my slide, right? You just have that desire to just continue pushing yourself, feeding on different, knowledge or different articles and resources, and just keep growing. You can come in from anywhere. And then I'll just run through this last slide. So this one is basically some career progression strategies that I've highlighted. The first one there is community, which you have a fantastic one right here, like the Vision Blink. Leverage communities, right? They help. That's where you find like professionals. You find people that are already in the system. People that already have exposure, that they're able to guide you, right? Go get into communities. Reach out to people, reach out to professionals as well in that community. Make use of all the resources that are available to you. The next one that is also there is internship. So don't be shy. Some people, different people have different, let me call it timeline, right? Some people might not be able to get direct roles, right? So it might be through internships, right? Apply for internships. It might even be free. Take the sacrifice. There was a point in my career that I have to take a pay cut to just get into cloud engineering, right? So it might be something similar for you there. It might be that you have to like go and intern somewhere for like 6 months without pay. The main thing is for you to get exposure, right? For you to get access to what is happening in the cybersecurity world. The next one is projects. So try as possible to have side projects, things that you can showcase to people, right? Equip your GitHub repositories and things like that with security resources and stuff that you've worked on the side. There are a lot of security projects that you can do when you check the internet, and hopefully your host will be able to provide you with some of them. Networking as well is also very, very important. Go out to meetups, go out to, where there's a gathering of tech influencers, and or maybe there's a tech community as well. Network with people, speak with people, get on social media. If you find someone that is doing what it is that you like, or, reach out to someone on LinkedIn, you go and check someone's profile on LinkedIn, you see that it's something that you like. You've seen how the person was able to transition from an IT support person to a cybersecurity professional. Reach out to that person, ask questions and things like that. And also the last one, which I personally like, is blogging. It's also very, very, it's something that people don't really take seriously, but also a very, very strong way to to progress your career, right? Open accounts on Hashnode or Dev2 or even Medium. Put out blogs. If you've worked on a project before, write it out. People want to see these kind of things. They want to see how you're able to communicate technical terms and things like that, and that is how you're able to get in through the door. So yeah, that'll be all for me today. Thank you very much. I'll take questions at the end if you have any.
Okay, will you take questions now or when Miriam is done?
Okay, I can take questions now. Just keep things modular.
Okay. So if you have questions for Folu, okay, there are some questions in the comment section.
Okay, if you can read them out. Thank you.
This is so long. Okay, I have been doing IT support for over 10 years. This is from Bosede. I have some certifications, rounded up my MSc. I'm also taking certified cybersecurity courses. I'm not so young. I am 45 years old. I feel like I have done so much in terms of developing my career. Any hope for me?
Totally. Totally. There is no age. There is no age limit to it. It's the knowledge that you have. I've seen people, I mean, there are various stories of people that are even older, right? I've seen people that have finished their career in something else and then they just, have the desire to start up their IT careers and then they go into software development, which is even the most hardest, personal opinion, hardest career path that you can, start in IT, right? So there's no age limit to it. It's just your desire. If you believe that you have the desire, go for it, right? The organizations are not set up to look at, especially in developed countries. Let me use that. I'm not saying that honestly, there's no rule to it, right? But organizations are not set up to what your age is, right? It depends on what value you have. Take for instance myself, I was already like basically a very, very senior person in system admin. I was just like system engineer and stuff like that. But because I wanted to transition into cloud, right, I had to downgrade. I talked about it. I had to like take a pay cut and things like that, right? And it was basically me starting off from like point zero, but in another career path, right? So there's really no age limit to it. If you have what it takes, go for it. Nobody cares. Well, as long as you have a task and you are competent enough to do that task in the particular cybersecurity or IT profession that you've chosen, right? Don't feel down that by age or anything. I've known people that have come from law, right? And now they're in IT, they're in cloud computing, doing cloud engineer, started off with internships and things like that. After they had like probably 20 years career experience in as being a lawyer and things like that. So go for it, beef up your profile, do the certifications. You seem like someone that is really, really career oriented. You know what you did to get to where you are now. So it's just about changing lanes, apply the same efforts, and then you'll be there.
Okay, thank you. This question is from Blessing. For areas like GRC, is the virtualization program in Linux and Windows administration important? That's one question. And what is the easiest way for someone with legal background without any idea in tech to transition into cybersecurity? Thank you.
Sorry, what's the second one again? What's the second question?
And what is the easiest way for someone with legal background, I think she's a lawyer,
Okay.
without any idea in tech to transition into cybersecurity? Thank you.
Right. So GRC, to be honest, you don't directly need those low-level skills, right? Obviously, that is one of the no-code or non-technical career path in cybersecurity. But for you to be able to understand the risk that comes with that role, understand how to do like risk assessments, rather, right? Understanding. Am I going? Think.
Rita or Mita, please mute yourself. Okay, I will mute everybody. And you unmute yourself for me. Okay, please unmute yourself.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, you don't.
Please. Okay, just continue.
Right, I think the person is mute now. Right, so you don't need like those low-level skills directly, right? But it's always essential to understand, like I said before at the beginning, the analogy that I gave, right? Understanding the blueprints of whatever it is you're trying to, let me say like as a GRC professional now, understanding the blueprints of the organization you're trying to do a risk analysis for. Because if you don't understand, okay, you need to understand how their infrastructure is set up before you can do their governance, risk, and compliance analysis, right? That just helps you. So you don't need to go too deep into, I'm pretty sure there are a whole bunch of other stuff that you need to learn as a GRC professional, right? But yeah, you don't need you don't need to understand, or you don't need those direct low-level skills, right? Just to emphasize again, you don't need to know the commands on how to set up a port or how to block a port or how to create user credentials, but you need to understand that, yeah, you need a user credential to get access to a system. For instance, you need a port on a server for that computer to be able to, for a user to be able to communicate with that computer. So those are the things that will help you to do your job effectively or efficiently. Do you get? The second one says, okay, the second question says, I think you have a career in law. I just gave an example of someone that had like 20 years experience in law and then transitioned into IT, right? You have lots of people like that. If you go on the internet and check, you see different stories of people coming from different professions, right? And then making, so there's no, I think Uloma mentioned at the beginning, even now, and I have friends and colleagues that don't even have a degree, right? They don't have any degree, talk less of having a degree in computer science or in computing, right? And then they are practicing and doing well and earning well in their different IT professions. So you can come in from anywhere, start up, pick up the knowledge, pick up the skills, and work your way up, put in the efforts, and you'll be there. What's the next question?
So, Grace Carlo, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, we can take the next questions because we're time is.
Good evening.
Okay.
Good evening.
Okay, sorry. I just graduated from the university and I'm trying to find my way around tech. And I don't know, but I'm a bit skeptical not to make mistakes. Is there any advice you can give me?
Okay, personal advice, pick up, you need to decide first, right? Decide what you want to do. You need to do quite a lot of research into the area. Because cybersecurity is just a very broad, in case you didn't know, it's just a very, very broad umbrella, right? There are different roles. Somebody just mentioned GRC now. You have information security, you have data security, a whole lot of roles, so you first need to decide where you want to go into, right? Pick the ones that you're quite interested in, that you feel that you aligns with your own personal attributes or traits. And then once you decide, I would say start off with certifications, look out for the industry or industry recognized certifications in those fields, and start with the entry-level certifications there. Once you start getting those certifications, they start giving you some kind of confidence and you start going deeper and deeper. I talked about doing projects, all of these career progression strategies, you can apply them, right? Join a community, like I said, do project network. And yeah, in doing that, you definitely find your fit in a suitable IT or cybersecurity career path.
Okay, I would like Miriam we have only 30 minutes, so I would like Miriam to come in and speak. When she's done, we can take more questions, please. Miriam, please, let's have you.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hi.
So basically, I'll be talking about, areas in cybersecurity for those who are interested, but they don't want to do anything related to coding. I would say as much as, coding, plays a huge impact in this field, at the same time, there are areas you can actually consider if you don't want to do, coding, you don't want to write any programming language and the likes. My colleague Follow had already talked about what cybersecurity is, but I'll just give a brief overview what cybersecurity is all about, and then we'll discuss the careers in cybersecurity you can actually consider without having a coding background. So basically, cybersecurity is a practice of protecting computer systems and networks and data from security breaches, unauthorized access and cyber attacks. Your duty is to protect these systems from unauthorized access, from malicious attacks and the likes. And cybersecurity is a crucial field, is evolving at the same time, which means the market is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, even for especially women who are interested in this career path, as the world is trying to, focus on gender equality, which means there's more room for you guys too as well. And I understand that so many people want to go into this tech, but they don't want to do coding, they don't want to program, they don't want to write programming languages. But at the same time, as much as it plays a huge role, like I would always say, there are areas you can focus on if you don't want to do programming. We have careers like, cybersecurity analyst, which is what I am. As an analyst, you are responsible for monitoring networks and systems. You identify security incidents and you also respond to them. Then why knowledge of coding is beneficial to this particular career path? The primary focus is you being able to detect incidents, being able to detect an attack, being able to also analyze this incident and also respond to them, the protocols that you're supposed to actually undergo in order for you to do this. We also have the cybersecurity consultant. As a consultant, you can, you have access to organization security posture. You recommend the best practices as an organization for them to use. And then you also help them to implement security solutions. You don't have to do it per se, but you can recommend what, they need. And then they can also employ professionals for them to do this as a consultant, which means you have to do grow from some certain career path before you get to this stage. Then you require solutions, like you're providing solutions and suggesting for them that if they do this or if they do that, their systems will be secured. So you recommend what they're supposed to do. You communicate and provide problem-solving skills, which are vital. So that's what it involves. It also involves you collaborating with various teams and clients to communicate the best practices for cybersecurity safety. And then we also have the compliance specialist. As a compliance specialist, you ensure that organizations adhere to relevant cybersecurity standards, regulations, and policies. I don't know, let's say, for example, you're traveling with an airline. If you're booking your air tickets, there are situations where you will see when you're filling those tickets, you will see, oh, you should pay this certain amount for this safety or to secure your bag and ensure this. All those are actually part of, cybersecurity careers. Basically, you're doing compliance. That's what we call it, compliance. So it protects both the company and the customer. You manage audits, you track, compliance metrics and implement necessary changes to meet security requirements. So what this does is that, let's say there was a time British Airways had an incident where customer identity was being leaked to third-party people. They had access to customer card, people who had already booked tickets from the airlines. So as a matter of this, they even had to pay a fine, and these customers were also compensated because they have been, they have implemented like a procedure what to do if incidents like this happen. Hence, they were able to resolve it. Even with these situations, they were still sued to court by these customers, and they had to pay a fine of over £200,000 for these incidents. So as a cybersecurity analyst, as a compliance officer, what you do, you write protocols, you write policies that would govern both the company and also the customers, which means you write policies to implement. If these things happen, this is what you compensate your customer with. If these things happen, this is what you do for your customers in order to gain trust back, in order to also keep your customers and also save your company too as well. That's for compliance. And then we also have the security sales engineer. As a security sales engineer in this role, you work with sales teams to provide technical expertise to clients. They help you demonstrate the value of security product and solutions without being directly involved in coding aspects. So you don't need to code in order to be a security sales engineer. It's just like, the tech sales too as well. So that's what this does. You just involve yourself with, technical expertise and clients to help demonstrate the value of security products. You can say it's very strong and it's good for this, it's good for that. And you sell this product to them or tell them this product is actually very reliable or is good for their company. You recommend it for them. That's what you do basically. And they pay you for doing that. And then we also have, cybersecurity trainer, which means you go to organizations, for example, if they employ you, you teach clients the best cybersecurity practices, and, you make cybersecurity awareness training, you train them and tell them how to do strong presentation and communication skills, how to protect their computers, how to protect their gadgets like phones, and how to always, prompt themselves to always change their password every 3 months or every 2 months. It depends on, the best practices as a teacher. as a trainer, what you're trying to describe or what you want these organizations to do in order for them to secure their systems. And there are basic, qualifications where you can consider as a beginner. We have the CompTIA Security A+. This CompTIA Security Plus is a beginner-friendly course for anybody from any background at all, because I understand that most people want to dive into this career path, but they are scared because they don't want to do programming, they don't want to code. But at the same time, like I said earlier on, it plays like a huge role if you know how to write some basic programming languages. As a part of our daily lifestyle, just like what my colleague had earlier said, you actually write programming language without you even knowing. Writing those star and a particular sentence that you want to make bold in your WhatsApp, that's actually coding, but you don't know you do that. And there are some basic beginner friendly, I would say, like Python, for example, which if you put more interest, you can actually learn these things at ease. But with that, going further, you can learn the CompTIA Security A+. Is a professional certification. Even if you don't have money to, start up this course to pay for this exam, we have YouTube. YouTube, like I would say, is the highest university everyone can actually go to. We have free resources there to, guide you through and give you some basic steps of these videos of CompTIA Security Plus. We also have the CISSP. This CISSP is the Certified Information System Security Professional. I wouldn't advise you go straight to writing these particular certifications because it's for managerial roles. You have to, be at a certain level or for a certain step before you get to that place. Let's say you're working as an IT support already. You can actually write this exam, it's fine. Which means you already have that pathway already in the industry already. But if you're starting as a beginner, Everest, I can see that you raised your hand. After we finish, if you have a question, I would answer your question. Okay. Adela,
Please
can you
wait.
mute your
No,
mic?
let me mute everybody. And okay, Miriam, please unmute yourself and continue. Thank you.
So I was talking about the Certified Information System Security Professional, that if you need to write this exam, you can't just wake up in the morning as a beginner that don't have any knowledge at all. You shouldn't write this exam per se. I would require you to equip yourself with the CompTIA Security Plus, which is more beginner friendly. It's just like a basic for everything else. If you want to go into the security or cybersecurity career path, you can go through these exam skills and try with free materials before you write these exams too at the same time. And then if you're considering like, a mid-level or managerial role in cybersecurity, like an analyst or a trainer and the likes, you can consider the CISSP, which is on a high level. We also have the Certified Ethical Hacker. So if you want to do penetration testing, I didn't discuss that because you require some basic coding skills. Like, I wouldn't call it's called scripting, but you guys will still identify it as coding if you don't know what the difference is. So you need scripting skills in order for you to also, consider this particular career, which is a certified ethical hacking. If you want to do a penetration testing job or you want to be a certified ethical hacker. So penetration testing, you can test an application before it goes live, even if it's a mobile application or it's a website. You perform tasks on it and hack that, the application to see if it's easy for you to hack in before it goes live. That's what you basically do for penetration testing. So you consider the CompTIA Security A+ as a beginner friendly, which is for non-coding. The non-coding cybersecurity professional, they have like diverse paths depending on your interest and your strengths. The areas, like risk management, for example, governance, incident response, policy development, or even for you to move to management and leadership positions. The most popular one of them is the information security analyst or officer. With this one, you write protocols for organization, you write policies for them, what they are supposed to do. We have the network engineer. As a network engineer, you require some basic coding or scripting skills for this. As a network engineer, you can use packet tracer. Is popularly known in cybersecurity to connect networks and also ping your network to check if it's safe, or if you're having like third parties who are also looking into your network or trying to scrap data or malicious attacks to your network. Then we have the network security administrator as well. The incident responder is what I explained earlier on. Is part of the cybersecurity analyst job. What you do, you respond to incidents. So which means if something has happened, you check this incident and see what's or the leak or how they got access to your system and the best practices to also secure your system. I also spoke about the cybersecurity consultant. As a consultant, what you're supposed to do. Basically, I spoke about you assess organizational, security posture, you recommend the best practices, and then you help implement security solutions. You communicate problem-solving skills, which are vital to these roles. The penetration tester, like I mentioned earlier on, if you do the CEH, that's the Certified Ethical Hacker, is a beginner-friendly course for penetration testing. You can also work as a certified ethical hacker. So which means as a penetration tester, what you do basically, you test applications like websites, just like the way we have Vision Blink, for example. You can check if maybe their security systems that they've done for the websites, if is strong enough, because someone can hack them and then you come and open vinehub.com. The next thing you see, you'll be seeing skeleton. It happens like that, which means someone has had unauthorized access to this website. They've hijacked their traffic. As a penetration tester, what you do is you test this network to find out if the security protocols that was also implemented by the software engineer, if it's strong enough or if it's weak. If it's weak, you ping this network and then you get a response from this network. I think my colleague had mentioned something related to Linux. In cybersecurity, mostly we use Kali Linux. This is the most common part. We have Ubuntu. I wouldn't want to dive so much about these softwares in tech, as some people don't have like a fair idea what it is. But in Linux, we have different operating system. For cybersecurity, mostly we use the Kali for penetration testing. That's what you use, Kali Linux. So that's what you use in testing, or you ping a network to see if you're going to get a response back. A network could be like a website. That's what I mean by a network, like visionblink.com. You can ping Vision Blink to see if it's active, to see if you get a response from Vision Blink. You can ping this network to see if even their security protocols is not strong, if it's weak. You can ping this network to see, or if it's something you can easily hack into. So in my early days, when I was trying to, when I was new in cybersecurity, I was just doing some test and see and some beginner-friendly, practice. I was working on Hi, Chichi, can you please mute your mic? Thank you. I was working on some assessment and then I did a test on TFL. TFL is Transport for London. And basically, at the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing exactly. I basically hacked into their network and I was extracting private emails. So this thing can happen to anybody. If your security is not as strong as it should be, people can get unauthorized access to your systems, which means if I was a bad person, for example, I will use these details I've gotten from this organization for the wrong reasons. You get it? So as a penetration tester, your job is to test this network to be sure that this application is safe. This application is sound enough, it is strong enough for it to go live in order for people to have access to it. But if you feel like this is not strong, you've tested it and there is more like is weak, you implement stronger security protocols which can make it strong enough to be able to handle the amount of traffic that is coming in. I also spoke about the security awareness trainer, which means you train organization. Let's say I work for an organization and I'm a business manager or I'm part of the HR team. You train people like us for us to know the best security practices for us to do in order to have a secure system, which means you tell us, you can set a rule, for example, on if you have access to the server and the company's network, you can set a policy that after 2 months, the system locks me out, which means I have to change my password after 2 months. It could be after, if you do it after every month, for me, I would say it's tedious, but 3 months, fair enough. You can ask the system to deny me access until I change my password to a new password. That is what you basically do as a security awareness trainer. You try to enlighten them the best practices and let them know that if you receive email that is not from the company, they are not meant to click it, or they should have thorough look to these emails before they click it, because sometimes you can click an email address and meanwhile you're clicking that link for your phone or for your computer to be hacked. I think I was working on a project as regards to file cabin in cybersecurity using deep learning, and for reasons I don't know how, as I was the only one that had access to my computer. Unfortunately, I saw my information, even which included during my master's, included my student registration, my full name to be precise. If maybe I had given someone, sent someone my work, I would have said that person is the person that actually hacked my system. But then I think once you're trying, free things is not good. Once you're using something free, like a free, let's say you're using Microsoft Word, for example, the MS Suite for MacBook, you have to pay. Although we have free version of it where you can download and use, a broken key to fix it. Things like that, you end up, getting or downloading things that might also make your computer vulnerable. At the end of the day, during that work, I realized that my work, when I submitted it on Tinitin, I realized that someone else, had already has or gotten my work with my student's number. And, I kept on asking myself, how did I make this mistake? And I realized that sometimes all these links you click, they play a huge role because you don't know the genuine one or the fake one, which can make your system or your phone vulnerable. So as a security awareness trainer, you train people to enlighten them about these informations, what to do or how to avoid being hacked or their data getting to the wrong person, or how to avoid allowing, malicious attack to the organization by changing their password, by not clicking this link, by doing this or by doing that. So these are really common, career path that you can consider in cybersecurity, that you don't actually need a coding background or coding skills for you to go into this. Cybersecurity awareness, the cybersecurity analyst, information security analyst, like I said, it mostly requires you writing policies for organization that governs both the company and the customer. As a network engineer, you definitely need scripting language, which means you might need Python or some basic Linux command for network engineering, including the penetration testing. But as a security consultant, you just provide, or you suggest solutions for organization that this is the best practice, or this is what you think at best suits them, or that would help the organization systems and secure their system. You don't have to do anything exactly, but instead you test this network. But in order for you to be a security consultant, which means you have a basic idea, or you know how to hack these systems, or you know what they do exactly or what they need, which means you've already grown to a certain extent already before you get to this particular position as a cybersecurity consultant. And going forward, I would say if you're doing training, like you're learning already, you already have like some background in cybersecurity. The thing is, I understand that in the course of people trying to transition to cybersecurity, they overwhelm themselves by learning so many things and they don't even know where to begin with. It's a situation where I've been before. You can learn things related to information security, cybersecurity analyst, network engineering. You need to find your niche, like find the particular areas where you have interest in. Do I want to be a cybersecurity analyst? Do I want to be a penetration tester? You can also call it pen tester for short. Do I want to be an ethical hacker or a security trainer, or awareness trainer? You need to ask yourself, find out what you actually want to do. Then when you know that, okay, fine, I want to focus on being a cybersecurity analyst, then you write a certification or learn courses that will tailor you to that particular career path instead of learning everything at the same time. Because when you learn everything at the same time, you will get bored, and then you'll be overwhelmed. You'll be confused too at the same time. So you learn to focus on a particular career in cybersecurity and learn things that benefit that particular career path. And also learn to connect with people, like even on LinkedIn, for example, like-minded people that are also doing the same thing. We have them on LinkedIn, penetration testers, ethical hackers, consultants. Follow them. You get to know the updates on the industry and what you're supposed to follow up, what you're supposed to do, because the world is evolving. When I mean the world is evolving, which means technology is also growing. What you left, like let's say 1 month ago, if you can come this month, things have become different. That platform has changed, which means there's development. So follow people that are actually, on the same career path as you, people that are already there, that can give you a best practice, and people that can motivate you to want to do more or learn more. Follow them. And even if it means like going for internship, even if this internship is free, as long as it's going to benefit you, you can start it off, because you need to build, confidence and also build experience. Work on a real life application for you to know how these things work around. And then you working on that, it will give you more confidence for you to also forge ahead in this field. You don't just wake up and you start you start as a cybersecurity person. You need to start from somewhere. Now, let's say you've done a free course for cybersecurity, or you've done a free course to be an information security officer, but you've not implemented it yet. But if you have an internship, or even if it's an entry-level position, even if these jobs are actually free, as long as it's going to help build your self-confidence and your experience at the same time, you should go for it. Understand that, sometimes difficulties in life, as things are quite difficult, doing a free job might not be exactly the best, as we all need money. But at the same time, we are building these skills for future peoples. You can earn really, you can earn very well in this career path as long as you work smart. But you also need to work well. Before you work smart, you need that baby step to get to that particular area where you want to be in life. By starting as, an intern, and you start off as an entry-level position. You need to start somewhere, at least get a real life experience. And so far, that would be, or if there's any question, I think Oloma can read it out, because we are
so someone we are running late, so we'll just take like 3 more questions. Okay, 5 questions, sharp. Just you guys have to answer it like
all right.
briefly. Yeah. So how about certifications in cybersecurity by IS2? Sorry, by ISC. Somebody's asking.
Yes, you can. The certification in ISC. So at the same time, is good. I mentioned earlier on about finding your niche. See, okay, I did masters in cybersecurity, and as a master's student, I basically learned everything, which means I learned how to be an ethical hacker, I learned how to be a penetration tester, as a consultant, as an information security officer, everything at the same time. But if you're starting off, let's say you studied elect, or you studied business management, and you're trying to transition to cybersecurity aspects, I won't advise you to go the same way I went through. My first degree was information technology, which means I basically had like basic knowledge about these things before I actually got myself into it. And I know how I struggled, even with the part that I already had knowledge in this. So if you want to do a particular thing, which is what I said earlier on, finding your niche. Do you want to be a cybersecurity analyst? Do you want to be an information security officer or a penetration tester? If yes, you choose one of those, and then you do certifications that would help you or channel your energy to that particular career path. As a pen tester, I would advise the CEH. But before you do CEH, first of all, do the commercial security plus first. It's beginner friendly. But if you already know the basics and you feel like, oh, you're confident enough, just go straight forward and write the CEH, as it's going to boost, it's going to get you to the door. Which means if you have the certifications, especially the one from EC Council, which is known worldwide, even recruiters will contact you themselves. They'll be the one to reach out to you. If you have the certifications, they would want to know, how many years you've been. But if you know that you're just starting off, like you're a beginner, you're coming from agri science, or you're coming from soil science, or business management, or accounting, then you can consider the Security Plus. Is beginner friendly. At least it teaches you, like it gives you that baby step. If you don't have the money to pay and start, you can look for this Security Plus. The classes, we have it on YouTube for free. Then after you learn these basic things before you pay for the Commercial Security Plus exam, and then you will also get study materials from there after you pay. So as you were asking about ISC, yes, the certification is good, but you also have, if you already have experience or you already know what you're doing already, fine. But if not, start from the Security Plus first as a beginner. But if you feel like your brain is tough enough to handle it, why not? You can go ahead. But if not, go for a beginner-friendly position that you won't have to, knock your head on the wall for you to understand what they are saying.
The person asking, where can one take a cyber security training? I think you've touched on that. You talked about YouTube.
Yes, I also provided a free material. I think after the webinar,
we'll share it in
our host will share it to you guys.
In the WhatsApp group, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, someone is asking, where can one intern?
Okay, where can one intern? There are so many organizations. I don't know. I think most of the participants in this webinar are from Nigeria. You can even reach out to them on LinkedIn. Chat organizations up, follow them, package your LinkedIn accounts. Make it look nice, make it look attractive, so that when you also send someone a message, they will want to listen to you. Send them a message and ask about the organization. Don't go straight to the point. You can ask about, like you'll be saying, they work at this organization and it's a place that you've had interest in for a while. How is it like? When they tell you a little bit, you try to create communication, make them feel comfortable before you can ask them that you're looking for an internship, but you don't even mind working for free at the same time. Aside from working as an intern in, let's say, for a cybersecurity position, if you have no knowledge at all, you can even start off as an IT support analyst, like my colleague mentioned earlier on. You can start off as that. I also talked about the fact that people do these jobs every day of their life without even knowing, which means you do security related stuff without even knowing. The star and a particular word and star again to make your word bold on WhatsApp is part of coding. You get it, which means you actually do this on your daily activities. If you want to intern, you can't sit and think manna will fall from heaven and meet you. You need to make connections, go to events related to your niche, what you have interest in. There are so many free online materials. Send these people messages that are looking for internship or any organization you have interest in. They might not even have cybersecurity, department in their office, especially companies in Nigeria. You can use them to learn and see what they are doing. Because as an analyst, for example, or as a cybersecurity person, you don't work alone. You work with others. Like you can work with software engineers, and then when they finish doing the application, you tend to look at it. You need to pass security check before you deploy. That's what penetration testers do. Which means if a software engineer has finished coding and writing an application, you need to pass through security check. So you will check the application and see, okay, have they done a good job? What was implemented? Is this okay for you to fly before it goes live? So you can chat people like that, for example, and find out what they do in the organization and tell them that you're interested in interning for them, even if it's for free. So that's how I think, or the best way for you to get an internship.
Okay, someone asked, where can one intern or volunteer here in the UK? Do you have any idea?
I think if you check volunteer.com, but the thing is, with these volunteer people, they want someone with 3 years experience at the same time. You can also package, your CV to suit whatever they want, as long as you can defend it and it's something that you feel like you can do at the same time. These are employers, it's small scale business. They want people to do their work for free. I will share the link with the host, and she would probably send it to the group later, and you guys can explore on it and see if that helps. It's a volunteer website for both, aside even cybersecurity jobs. you can get, web developer job and the likes on that platform. I will send it to the host and she will share it with you guys later.
Okay, I will start taking questions from the people raising their hand.
All right.
Innocent Mosu, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Innocent Mosu. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria.
All right, Innocent.
Okay, thank you. My question is, okay, fine. I want to talk to Miriam directly. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate. Okay, fine. So now I want to talk about myself. I recently got my CEH certification from EC Council, and I currently consult for a couple of IT companies and some organizations here in Lagos. But I want to do an MSc in cybersecurity. So I wanted to crave your indulgence if you can oblige me. One of the best institutions, probably in the UK or wherever I can get, so I can be able to upscale. So that's number one. And two, I wanted to ask, too well, cybersecurity in Nigeria here is not that too. People are not. It's just recently people started trying to place more focus on it, and then can one be able to get said paid internship positions abroad while working from Nigeria? So these are my questions I just have to ask. Pardon me if I kind of went out of the line. My apologies, please. Thank you.
It's okay, Innocent. Your first question was, asking about scholarships for MSc in cybersecurity. There are so many amazing schools. We have my school too at the same time. They do cybersecurity, and it's their London campus. Life in London is quite expensive, so just in case you're, trying to live, budget friendly, you can consider. There are so many universities that do cybersecurity, but the main focus for you is scholarship. Their scholarship, the schools itself, they offer scholarship so at the same time, but it's competitive, so which means it's a process. You have to apply for this scholarship and write a compelling personal statement that would also get you to the door. You're not the only one applying for this, or you're not the only one needing this, which means you have to be exceptional whilst applying for this scholarship. We also have Angela Ruskia University, is located in Chelmsford. It's also a very good school that also do this same course that you want to do as, cybersecurity, your master's program. We have even University of Newcastle at the same time that also do this course, and Ulster University, Belfast, the campus in Belfast, they have cybersecurity. So which means there's this Chivinin scholarship. I don't know if it's on currently, but aside the scholarship, you can also check the school website for scholarship and apply to it. It's competitive, like I said, which means you have to prove beyond that why they should give you this scholarship and before you apply for it. And I think we have this petroleum scholarship in Nigeria where you can apply for the same scholarship, but you have to write an exams before the scholarship. So maybe you can Google about the petroleum scholarship in Nigeria. They give you fully funded scholarship. And there's Commonwealth too at the same time, the Commonwealth scholarship. Nigeria is part of the Commonwealth countries, so yeah, so you can also consider that. But like I said, it's competitive, which means you have to prove beyond doubt why they should give you this scholarship. Your second question is related to internship. There are companies in Nigeria that can pay you when you intern with them. Even Flutterwave, they pay when you intern with them.
Okay. Why can't you listen to me?
Charity, can you please?
Miriam, please unmute yourself and continue.
You spoke about, internship. So with the internship, we have so many organizations, even Flutterwave, they pay their interns. We have Oracle is in Lagos. They have their company located in somewhere around Ikoyi. They also pay their interns. So it depends. There are so many organizations that pay their interns. There are some at the same time that don't pay. Interns is just like you doing your NYC, your PPA is not all of them that pay. So you have to rely on what the federal government pays and then the state government. Apart from what the state and federal government pay, some organization like private organization, they still pay you like good amount of money as as a copper. But some of them too at the same time, like if you work for schools, is 100% free. I don't think they pay you, anything when you're working with them. So yeah, the organizations that pay, it just depends on what you're looking for and how bad you want it and how good, your resume or your presentation skills is or your interview skills when they interview you. If they want you, most of these huge organizations, even mobility at the same time, they pay their interns and they have cybersecurity analysts. I don't know if they have interns, but you can be the first one at the same time if you're considering them, of course. So you can think of applying to places like this. I think
Okay, let
someone
me pick another question. Are you done answering that?
Yes, I am. Except there's
Okay.
further questions from him.
No, we just have to be. I'll just take 2 more questions and we wrap up. Everest Dawn, you've been raising your hand. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, good evening. Cynthia
Good
Okoye,
evening.
I greet you. Please, I've been asking a question. For past 15 years now, I have an experience of software and hardware engineer, in computers, anything accessing computers. So, like, I needed a guideline, like, what it looks like, where you can guide me. I have this interest of studying this and making an inquiry of this cyber security before I came across this links. So I need a guideline, like, or how will you assist me on, like, what an idea will you render to me, like, in the best way I can. That's it.
All right. You said you're a software engineer, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
What programming languages do you do, and what applications do you work on? What kind of applications do you work on?
I have like Microsoft account and all those, the Excel, all those. There are the rest.
Okay. When we say software engineering, which means maybe you're a computer programmer, you write like a particular programming languages. It could be Java, JavaScript, and the likes and stuff like that. Maybe you write backend services or front end services. But since you already do Microsoft, you already know your way around computer, which means you know how to use a computer, and you're looking at transitioning into cybersecurity or a particular career in cybersecurity. I had earlier mentioned, a beginner-friendly certification, the CompTIA Plus. So is a good, start off point for someone like you. If you don't have money to pay, I provided a link with the host, which is Try Hack Me. But if not, there are, materials also on free, which is free on YouTube. Just go there and search for CompTIA Plus. You would see professional certifications that you see courses or trainings, free videos that you can get, like you can do a hands-on that is related to cybersecurity, which is a beginner-friendly position in cybersecurity. You start off somewhere and you tend to do a hands-on and see what is like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oziomo, okay, do you still have any question? So you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you,
Good
Miriam,
evening.
for the training. Yes, I'm very interested in this cybersecurity. I have a certification in Cisco Cyber Ops, but since I got it, I have not really like practiced cybersecurity. Like I work with a government organization, even though in the IT area, but I don't really have the opportunity to try out my knowledge in cybersecurity there. Even though we are trainers anyway, so I have been training on cybersecurity, but is just within the opportunity given by the organization. I want to ask, how do I, gradually because of this now, somehow it's like leaving my head. Now, how do I I don't know if you can advise me what to do since I'm already working. If there's a remote something I could do and then something else I could study under where I could transition. Just like I said, there are so many areas and I've seen so many areas and they're all nice. Now, how do I now build myself in? But how do I link them together, join them together to do something else in cybersecurity so that I can be more active in what I've learned? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ozema, for your question. I can see that you've already acquired knowledge and you have some basic expertise in the environment already. So which means you can start up as, a cybersecurity analyst. Even as a trainer, there are some, I don't know about Nigeria, but I know that there are some organizations that are willing to actually have you work fully remote as a trainer for you to enlighten their staff, which means you teach them virtually. But as a Favor, can you please mute your mic? Favor, your mic is on. Yeah. So since you're already in the field, which means you have basic knowledge and it's something that you can easily start off very well if you position your resume to suit the industry. You can apply for jobs. You're already in the field. I don't know if you're not on LinkedIn, you should be on LinkedIn already and reach out to organizations. Tell them what you do. Sell yourself to them. Just like the way you do yourself right now. I think follow. Do you have something?
Yeah, just finish. I thought you were done.
Okay. Sell yourself to them, just like the way you sold yourself just now about what you do already. So you can profile your LinkedIn to suit what you're looking for. And at the end of the day, even sometimes these recruiters can actually also reach out to you directly. So you can start doing something related to what you already learned. Follow, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Just to add another suggestion to what Mariana said, I think if you said you're a trainer and then you are already you already do this professionally, right? It depends on what if you want to leverage your current skills, there are certain things I think you can do, or you can as well also move into a more technical role if you wish, right? Like some of the ones that Miriam has already mentioned. But as a trainer, there are some things that you can do that I think you can do to leverage your skill to maybe side income. You can start blogging. You just check out what the technical writer does, right? Which I think is directly related to what you do, right? You can just go on hashnode.com or .dev, I'm not sure. Just Google Hashnode. Just there are different technology platforms for blogging, right? This Medium. Just start off, writing, doing some technical writing, right? Around cybersecurity. I've seen a number of people that have done this, and after some time, within maybe 6 to 1 month, they start earning, money on the side from this. There's a good number of people that are looking for technical writers, different organizations. You might have the communication barrier, if you say you want to be a technical trainer officially to, let's say, remotely, or to a company that is outside Nigeria. So that's why I'm not suggesting you applying for that kind of role, because obviously you need to have the communication skills and things like that. But what I know, some of the things that you can do is technical writing, and 100% make money on the side on this. In doing that as well, what you can also do is just build your brand, right? Just like Miriana said, set up your LinkedIn profile, start putting out posts, let people know who you are, build your digital identity, build traffic around your profile and things like that. Let people know that this is what you do. put out blogs and articles outside. There are a lot of free platforms that you can do that. I mean, doing that, you see that people start reaching out to you, to start writing for them and stuff like that. But on the side, I mean, aside that, you can obviously go as well into technical roles, and then start off with the certifications and learn all the technical skills that's required for any role that you want to go into within cybersecurity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Folu. It's been an very insightful evening. Personally, I've learned a lot today. I've really learned a lot, and we thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, we have to round up because this session is supposed to be 1 hour 30 minutes, but we've exceeded 19 minutes, like it's 6:49 now, and we just need to wrap up. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any other questions, you can, please, I need to, can I give your contact to some of my community members, just in case if they want to reach out to you guys one-on-one and ask further questions? Am I free to do that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear you. You're on mute, Miriam.
My social media account is fine. They can reach out to me on that.
Okay, I can share your social media account.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. And Miriam is actually the founder of CyberFem. She's on Instagram, so I can share that in the WhatsApp group. So you guys can check her out on CyberFems, right? You're on mute, Miriam.
Yeah, CyberFem or Miriam Ejechi, my official account or CyberFem. Either way, they can reach out to me. I will definitely respond.
Okay,
ASAP.
Folu, how do we reach out to you if we want to?
Twitter mostly, or Telegram.
Telegram.
Yeah, I'll just drop
Twitter.
my handle and just check on any social media.
Okay.
I have the same handle across.
Okay.
I can see it seems Adobe Nwankwo is raising her hand, but we are done with this section. If she has other information or question that she would like to
contact them personally.
Yeah, you can leave it with. Yeah, okay, fine.
They will answer you. Thank you very much. So you can contact Folu on his social media handle, then contact Miriam too, CyberFem Miriam Ezechi, Instagram and Twitter. Thank you very much. So I would like to move over to the next session. Where we will, if you are in our WhatsApp group, we spoke about doing a free training on UI UX design. Yes, this what's it called? This session is all about cybersecurity, but normally we do what we call special offer for people that attend our webinars. So the last webinar we did on data analytics, we actually sponsored someone to take a course on Coursera on data analytics, and the lady is still taking the course now. So since we can't really get a facilitator for cybersecurity, we can't afford that for now. We just said, okay, we've done something on UI UX design and it was very successful. Let's do it again. So now I'm going to share the link. This link will be live for 12 hours. After 12 hours, we'll take it down. Please submit your application. When you submit, we'll review the application. The training is starting this Saturday. Yes, it's starting on Saturday, as in next week Saturday. I don't really have the date of heart. Starting next week Saturday, we'll start immediately. So we'll review your application. By Thursday, we should publish the names of those who qualified in our WhatsApp group. I will try as much as possible to publish it also, maybe on our social media pages, because there are some people that don't like belonging on WhatsApp group, and I actually don't blame them. So we'll try as much as possible to publish the names on our WhatsApp group and Instagram page and Facebook page, and on my personal Facebook page, Uloma Cynthia King. So I will share, if Chinaya, are you here? Please, can you share the link? Okay, I'm coming. Let me just get the link and share it myself. Okay, yes, the link is here.
I'm
so
here.
Okay, fine. If you please, if just click on that link, apply. There are some people that said, there's someone here that said, oh, I just finished school, I don't know where to start from. Please apply. This last the last training that we had medical radiographers there, we had microbiologists there, and they completed and they aced their project. Some of them are still looking there, they've built their portfolio and they're already applying for job. So if you don't like coding, if you don't even know where to start, I would advise you, please apply for this scholarship. We will take as much as at least 30 to 40 students this time around, so that many people can participate in this training. It's okay. Chineye, please share the WhatsApp group link too, for people that would like to join. But like I said, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, don't worry. Keep up with our social media pages. With my personal page on Facebook, Uloma Cynthia Okeni, I will publish the links there, just in case if you're not in our WhatsApp group, so that I will add you to another WhatsApp group where we coordinate the training. Yeah. If you've gotten the link, have everybody seen this link? Please, if you've not seen it, let me know, because I have issue with, after posting this link, people send me personal message, oh, I attended the webinar, I did not see any link and all that. Please, have everybody here, have you seen this link? Have you gotten it, or should we post it again?
Sorry, please. Hello, ma'am. Please, where are you posting the link? Is it on the WhatsApp group or?
No, on the comment section.
Why can't you just post it on WhatsApp group now?
No. The link is not for everybody. It's specifically for those that attended this webinar and stayed till the end.
All right.
I have over 1,000 people in my WhatsApp group. I can't share this. Yeah, please.
I understand. I repost it again, ma. Sorry. Please repost it again, ma.
I've done that. So the funny enough is, even
I'm
if
on the link, not following through.
sorry. Okay, I said we are organizing a free training for people who.
But it's not pulling through. It's just, it keeps saying redirect.
I'm coming. Let me test it myself. I can view the form. Is anybody having problems with this form?
I've opened it. It's working. I've opened it.
Working. The form is there. It's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Grace, have you been able to please, the form is working. You can start. Like I said, we'll have it here for 12 hours and we will take it down. So we'll be able to review the applications. Grace, if you're still having issue with it, chat me up private. Are you in the WhatsApp group? If you're in the WhatsApp group, chat me up privately. Since I know you're here, introduce yourself and tell me who you are. I'll help you sort it out.
All right. I think that's better. No.
Yes, that's better. If just chat me up privately or chat Chineye up privately. Introduce yourself. Tell me what the problem. We'll sort it out from there. I just want everybody that stayed till the end to get this link. And if you've got, okay, some people want to ask questions. Precious Chibuoke, please unmute yourself and ask your question. I hope the question is related to this UI UX application. Adobe Wanko, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Please, if you have any question, unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay. If we don't have any question, can I end this call? We'll be putting like we'll upload this recording on our YouTube channel. It will be accessible to everybody. So if you want to watch, please, like I said, if you have any question, ask. Anocha Gift, unmute yourself and ask your question. You guys have been raising up your hand. Please ask your question if you have any question. If you don't have, let's end the call.
Hello, sorry, ma. Please, could you put the name of the YouTube channel? Thank you.
Okay. Our YouTube channel is John Blink. I'll just get the URL and put it here too. This is the link to our YouTube channel. So we have other videos there, our webinar videos. You can watch them, and we'll upload this latest tomorrow morning, but I'll try to upload it this evening. Choma Areze, what is the challenges? Please chat me up privately. Choma, please, I know you one-on-one. Chat me up. I will direct you.
Okay.
Okay, Laura Festus, the scholarship is not about cybersecurity. It's about UI UX design. The webinar is on cybersecurity, yes, but for the people that attended this webinar that still want to, attend our free training on UI UX, you can apply. For now, we are not giving any scholarship on cybersecurity because we don't have any facilitators for that. Okay, so can we end the call now? Any more questions? Any more questions? Please, if you have any question, unmute yourself and ask me the question. Let me answer.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
So bad there. I'm on a call.
Okay. Okay. I'll stop recording for now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining.
Sorry, Mrs. Okenyi, I want to ask. I asked before. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I was asking if there is any place that we can take cybersecurity courses or intern here in South Africa. Do you know
my
anyone?
sister, I don't know. But there is this link that they shared with me. That's our speakers that they shared with me how to start. I think that particular resource is very intuitive, and I'm going to share it in the WhatsApp group.
Please, it's very challenging because I've taken time to learn the skills or to learn via YouTube, or even I try to do free things from Udemy. But then if I don't have someone that will show me, okay, this is this, like a physical contact, it's very challenging for me to adapt to this cybersecurity thing.
Okay, I have one question. Have you actually researched for intern job opportunities in South Africa? That's one. If you have, how many applications have you sent?
I checked once, and I saw one that UJ was doing, but then you have to pay. You have to pay. It's not free.
Intern jobs, for an intern job, you have to pay for an intern job.
No, it was a training, actually, not intern. So that's why I was thanking earlier for doing this for free.
Honestly, most of this tech boot camp that you will get value. Do you understand? Yeah, I know you can see some videos on YouTube, but the one that you will get value and you will do real life projects, they are pretty expensive. You have to pay for them. Do you get? So if you have money, if we use our money to buy hairs, to buy clothes, to buy, to make our life better, why not? This is a good investment. Please, my sister, invest in it. Pay, do this training. Because I always advise for people to do boot camps. Boot camp, after doing the training, they will give you like industry project to work on. And when you're done, it serves like an intern for you. And that is basically what we are doing with this UI/UX. We give industry training for you to work, like projects that you can bring and add to your portfolio. So if you see training like that, no matter the amount, please, our advice, you pay. If there's anyone, even if it is physical training in South Africa, pay and attend. Do you understand? Taking courses in Udemy, I'll be very honest with you, taking just all these 10 hours courses in Udemy, yes, it's kind of a stepping stone, but it won't give you that practical experience you need to kickstart. Do you understand? So if you see any bootcamp, please pay and attend that bootcamp. That is the best advice I can give. And if you would like to contact Miriam and Folu, please, they've dropped their social media. You can chat them up on their social media handle and still ask them more questions on this. Now, personally, you can there's something I do. If I'm looking for a job like this, I can, look for a list of companies. I also did it when I was in Nigeria, when I was in Abuja. I searched for a list of companies, printed my CV, I started visiting them one after the other. I was meeting their HR and I was submitting my CV. Since you stay in South Africa, why not try it out? You can try it. This thing, there is no harm in trying. So far as an intern job you're looking for, job research, send your CV, sometimes they might give you interview exams to take. Prepare yourself very well, read properly, prepare yourself and take these exams and attend as many interviews as you can attend. Like so many interviews, just keep attending and keep trying. That's my best advice for you. But I don't know anyone.
Thank you.
Or you can call me offline. Both of us, we can look at it together and research. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Please, it's after 7 and it's 2 hours, and I think I need to end this call now. We've really spent so much time here. So please, try as much as possible to, yes, I did not say one thing. That application, please don't rush it. That is why we are giving 2 hours. Read it properly, answer the questions properly. Where we say don't, no more than less than 50 words, please try, put in something interesting, something captivating so that we can pick you. Thank you very much. I will have to stop recording now.